back with another haul today. I have some manga, manhwa, a couple art books, a fanzine, some fan art prints, as well as a bit of official merch. While I was stacking up all my books and all my merch, I realized that it's predominantly shonen titles and BL manhwa, but it's quite a mix, so I'll just go ahead and start going through everything. I'll start with one shoujo item that I picked up, and it is this Fruits Basket illustrations, the complete 3-in-1 that Yen Press released in English. I do also have the 3 volumes, the single volumes that were the Japanese release, and I wasn't planning to pick this one up because I do really like the singles. I love how they're tiny and skinny and cute, and then I have the 3 covers of Toru, Yuki, and Kyo. But the main reason that I wanted to get this is because the height of it matches the English omnibus volumes, and I really wanted to be able to store the extras with the manga and to have it align if possible, so I went ahead and picked it up, and I'm pretty happy with it. I was going to try to just be content with my Japanese singles, but there really is a lot of text in here, and I'm glad that I have it in English now so I can actually go through and read the little summaries of the anime episodes. But then I just love having all this art on a bigger page, so I'll be able to enjoy the illustrations a bit larger. But the first thing I did when I got this in the mail was I compared each of the singles side by side with this 3-in-1 to make sure that nothing was left out. All of the pages were the same, but then the illustrations on the front covers, the back covers, as well as the dust jacket flaps for each of the Japanese single releases, that they were included as well with the illustrations. So I'm really happy that this collection made sure to include all of those bits of extra art all together so that we wouldn't be missing out on any of the illustrations. But happy to have this and to add it to my collection. As this is a series that I like a lot, I do have the manga, and I do like the anime quite a lot as well. For anyone who doesn't know about this shoujo series, it follows this orphaned high school girl who becomes entangled with a large, troublesome family where some of the family members are cursed with traits from the zodiac. I was a big fan of the anime, and finally, after years, got into the manga, and this is a really interesting release of illustrations because it is like an anime guide going through the episodes. But then, apart from the screen grabs from the anime, the rest of the illustrations are not in the anime art style, so glad to have this one now. Then jumping into some of my shonen pickups, I got the newest volume of Tokyo Revengers, the newest omnibus volume that contains volumes 25 and 26. And we have South here on the cover and Duraken. I would have loved to have had him on the cover, but I don't believe we've had any duplicate covers yet in I think this is the 13th omnibus volume. So we've had 13 different characters so far featured. I can't believe that this is almost complete now with the print release. So only 2 more omnibus volumes, so 27 and 28, and then 29, 30, and 31 will be a 3-in-1 omnibus for the final release. But I've been super happy with this omnibus release from 7 Seas. All of the omnibus volumes have been just super nice, and I've been really happy with the print quality and paper quality and just overall really easy to read from these books. I was really disappointed when this was first announced that it would be 2-in-1 omnibuses because I really wanted to have singles so that I could have all of the cover illustrations because I really love this series covers. But I'm happy with how it turned out and how the volumes look. I am a little cranky that the final release is going to be a 3-in-1 for the last 3 volumes. It was inevitable because the series is 31 volumes, so that final volume was either going to be a single or into a 3-in-1. But I just really hope that on the shelf, the last volume won't look terrible next to all the others, being a chunkier volume. But Tokyo Revengers is a shonen series that follows a young man who ends up going back in time when he's in a life-threatening situation, and he wants to use that opportunity to prevent something tragic from happening from his past. And the story follows his actions as he's trying to make those changes, and then the different outcomes and how the future is affected each time he makes a change. So, big fan of this series. I'm probably going to wait until the last volume releases and then just do a full read-through of the series. So really looking forward to that. I'm behind on the anime still. Every time I get a new omnibus, I'm just like reminded that I need to get back and watch the anime and catch up on that. My next pickup is One Piece Volume 107. I'm just gradually collecting these as the volumes release. And into Egghead Island. I'll be excited to read this arc from the physicals, as this arc I've only read digitally so far. This is a series that I keep up with weekly on the Shonen Jump app. And even though it's quite long, I've already read the whole series twice. I've done 2 full read-throughs, and I'm doing another full read-through in January, February 2025. I don't think Sanji is on this cover. Oh, he's here on the back though. But Sanji is my favorite character in One Piece, and his birthday is in March, so I'm gonna do a full read-through before his birthday and try to fully appreciate his character arc and just enjoy his journey with him before his birthday. But anyone who doesn't know about One Piece, it's an adventure series that follows a group of pirates as they are traveling around to different islands in search of the One Piece. And then another One Piece item, but this is a fan-made item, and it is my ZoLu mail for October, so Halloween themed, of Zoro and Luffy. I've really loved being a part of this artist Patreon and getting these monthly mail-outs with these little comics on the back. I'm kind of sad though because it's ending. They said that December 2024 was going to be the final mail-out, so I'm sad that I only have 2 more ZoLu mail-outs after this one, but I just love their art style. So I'll have all of their ZoLu prints from the last 2 years, but then I also have some of their art of other characters like Sanji, Korra, Shanks, as well as some of their One Piece girls, Hancock, Robin, and Vivi. And then there's stickers for this mail out. Were too cute. And then there was a little bonus Halloween little card, so they're so cute. Next is another fan item that is for the series Haikyu. It's one that I've been in anticipation of receiving, this Haikyu Idol fanzine to the stars. So this is one that I was excited about when it was being planned and announced, and then I did put in a pre-order as soon as the pre-orders opened. So this is a fanzine that has a bit of art in it as well as fanfics. I'll just do a really quick little flip through. I haven't read any of the stories in it yet. I've just flipped through several times and enjoyed the illustrations. My favorite character in Haikyu is Omi, and so I'm thrilled that he has some nice art in here. He's so cute. Imagine if he was an idol. But I'm excited to read the stories because they will all be kind of idol AU related. And I really love all of the art in here that it features so many characters, not just only the Krasna guys. Or just only the ones from the ending arc of the series, but has a good mix of all the characters. This is one of my favorite illustrations of Sugawara. I just love how he's drawn. So once I go through and just really thoroughly look at all the art and read some of the fanfics, I'm gonna look up some of the artists and writers on their social media platforms so that I'll be able to just enjoy more of their art or stories. And the last shonen item before I get into some BL is this Demon Slayer art book. I'm just going to put it down here because it's at a weird angle and I don't want to just hold it up and be shaking it. I recently, in September and October, watched all of the anime for Demon Slayer, and when I got to the end of the anime, the last season, I picked up where it left off and read the rest of the manga through to the end. I really enjoyed the story and characters. I really enjoyed the anime, the animation was so good. I really liked the voice cast, and I'm really looking forward to the final movies that will get into the Infinity Castle and the Sunrise Countdown arcs. I enjoyed reading those arcs, but seeing them animated is going to be so cool. But after I finished watching and reading this series, I wanted to pick something up to have a bit of Demon Slayer in my collection. And I saw that there were several different art books, so I just scoured YouTube for flip-through videos, and I think right now there are 2 anime art books out, one for the first season and then one for part 1 of season 2. And then this manga art book. So this is the one, obviously, that I ended up getting as I am showing in my haul today. And I really liked this one because it had more art, like more pages, but then also just a lot of the art like took up more of the page. I noticed that in the anime art books, it would be like one illustration of a person just in the center of a white page. I'll flip through just a little bit because there is a little bit of spoiler content in this art book if you're anime only and you haven't finished the manga, but I love these illustrations, and it's in the style of the manga, but it still has color illustrations. So the entertainment district was my favorite section of the anime up until the end of the final season that we have out so far. I'm not planning to collect the manga because when I revisit the story, I think I'm just gonna watch the anime again. But I like in here, yeah, I was just like, am I crazy? Am I remembering this right? But I like that in the art book, it has all of the illustrations from the covers of the manga. So even though I'm not going to be buying the physicals, I can still enjoy all the art. And I'm not going to flip through the rest just because I don't want to accidentally spoil anyone on anything, but after I finished the series and ordered this, I was really excited for it to arrive, and I actually did my nails blue, and I tried to make them as sharp as I could, which is not that sharp, but because my favorite character in the series is Muzan, and apologies to everyone who hates him, but I really like him. He's such a well-written villain, and I really like his presence and his atmosphere whenever he is in the scene. But happy to have this now. The book, too, just itself is really nice. It's a hardcover release, but unfortunately my dust jacket is longer than the book, so it keeps just like, every time I try to straighten out the book, it keeps bending a little bit, so I need to try to do something to flatten this out and stop myself from continuing to make the damage worse, but happy to have this now. I forgot to mention too that it has a little fold-out poster, and even though it's predominantly art, I did want to get it in English instead of buying a secondhand Japanese copy for a little bit lower of a price because there are bits of text still and I wanted to be able to enjoy that. Okay, now moving into my manhwa and merch items. First I have Volume 4 of The Dangerous Convenience Store. I am so happy to have this. I've been planning to do a reread of this series or a read through of my physicals so far. I have read this series digitally and I really like it, but I believe with this volume we're starting into a really angsty part of the series and I kind of love the way that it hurts, the pain in it. So almost through this series though, this is volume 4 and it's 6 volumes total, so looking forward to having this series complete. This is my favorite cover of the 6 volumes though. I really like him, but then the meaning behind this background as well as the volume 5 having not a connected illustration but just a related themed cover illustration is really nice. So we'll be looking forward to reading this one. This series follows this gangster and his relationship with a university student that works at the convenience store that he frequents. Most of the story is from the university student's point of view, but then finally in volume 4, I think, I'm not sure if in volume 3 there's a little bit, but in volume 4 we get to see from his point of view a little bit to kind of get some insight into the kind of man he is and how he's been feeling through the entire series so far. So happy to have this one. Next is volume 1 of Semantic Error. I got this review copy sent to me from Yen Press and Ice Press, and I was really excited to get into it. This is one that I have read the digital release, and I'm always really excited to see the print releases of webtoons, just to see how they format the digital content, which is usually long scrolling white backgrounds with little blocks of illustrations and conversation bubbles and thought bubbles, how they are able to consolidate those and format them so that it will read in book form. And I was really happy with how they did it. I think it looks really nice. I actually read it this past weekend and it was really easy to read and really funny. I forgot how funny it was. I really like both of these main characters. So it's set in university and follows this upperclassman and his underclassmen as they get off on the wrong foot, and both are really negative toward each other and have more and more conflict through this volume. But I really like as it goes how they get to know each other and how they're so different, but then the things that they have in common with each other. These little bios at the back of the book are perfect. Describing them, one of them is a popular guy who has a lot of friends, and then a more socially awkward guy who is a bit quirky. But then one of their similarities is that they both are interested in game development. So that's touched on a little bit in this volume. And I'm looking forward to seeing more of that side of the story as the physicals continue. But enjoyed this read. Happy to have this in my collection now. And this one is rated older teen, so it isn't a mature series for anyone who prefers non-explicit BL. And then this next section of my haul is going to be all manhwa merch that I got with the help of my Korea proxy so that I could pick up some secondhand items as well as items from a cafe collab. I'm not going to go through every bit of the paper goods because I did already kind of sort some of it and put it away. One series that I've been getting a lot of random photo cards and releases from Lezen is Legs That Won't Walk. I'm trying to collect in full all of the photo cards and just Lezen releases of the crossover prints and holographic tickets. I've kind of lost track, though, of what I've shared here on YouTube because I keep just getting random things in from my Japan hauls being sold secondhand, from my Korea proxy, as well as just within the US, just ordering miscellaneous things here and there. But with my last proxy order that I got in recently, I got a few more of the photo cards that I was missing. And now I have almost all of them, I think. Another series that I've been really enjoying, it's still ongoing, is the Ghost Nocturne. And a merch item that I got my hands on that I'm really happy about is this little puppy acrylic block. It's so cute. It's double-sided. But one of the main characters during the day turns into this little puppy, which is hilarious because it's in such contrast visually from how he looks in human form. But I was really happy that I was able to get a hold of this block secondhand. I wish that for this little block they had done his little sitting illustration, because that is my favorite little version of this little doggy is when he's doing his little grumpy sit. But this one is cute too, and I love that it's double-sided to see his little pink belly sagging down. He's so cute. As well as a few photo cards for the Ghost Nocturne. I'm not planning to collect the Ghost Nocturne in full for the merch items, and a lot of the resale is kind of expensive. So I'm just trying to find the couple of specific items that I would like to have that I might have room to display as well. And then another couple things in my proxy order that I got were the AR cards for Work-Love Balance and the Dangerous Convenience Store. So these little augmented reality cards for the 2 series. And I'm really happy with how they turned out. I got these 2 little binders for them. And I actually, when I got these in the mail, I did a live on Instagram of unboxing them and getting these binders set up. I'll just show a little bit from the cards. They're so cute. I'm glad that I didn't miss out on these because I purchased these with a re-release of the AR card release because I missed out on them when they first initially released. But I did a live on Instagram going through all the cards and just my thoughts as I opened everything and got it set up. So if you want to check that out, I did save that live as a reel as I went through these little packs. So that's where you can find that. And then the last item from my Korea proxy order that I'm so glad that I was able to get these items, and it's for the series The Insatiable Man. There was a cafe collab where they were selling different merch items, and I was able to request a few things to be picked up for me. And I'll just share those because it isn't too much. I got these 2 prints that were spend benefits. So once you spend a certain amount, you get free postcard prints. And then I got a pack of, it says photo cards, but these are each just prints. But this series follows a novelist who has a food aversion, and then his relationship with a man who is very passionate about food and for a living, writes about it as well as on the radio. Is a food reporter. I also really like the side characters in this series. And it actually just completed, the main story just completed, but there are more side story chapters that are coming out that I'm really looking forward to. And then the last item was this food journal that came with this little clear card. But I was really excited about this. I love little things like this, little booklets, and I wasn't sure what to expect, like what kind of content would be in here, but I'm really happy that I got it because it really is like a little food magazine, but then it has a lot of art of the characters. And it's just perfect as a little merch item. So glad to have it now, and I'm glad that I didn't miss out on this little collab cafe event because I would have been really disappointed. I am really sad that this series is coming to an end, but I've really enjoyed it as it's been releasing. And the last item of this haul is actually an autobiography of this man, Yukichi Fukuzawa. And in case you're wondering why is this in an anime manga haul, and the reason why is because he is my favorite character in the anime manga novel series Bungo Stray Dogs. He's my favorite character. He's the president of the Armed Detective Agency, and I have been on such a Bungo Stray Dogs hype the past year. So the end of 2023, I did a binge of the anime, and after I caught up on the anime through season 5, I, at the start of 2024, started reading through all of the light novels, and after I finished the last light novel, I felt compelled to start reading some of the works by the characters, the literary counterparts of the characters from Bungo Stray Dogs. So starting this summer, I read through novels, novellas, short stories, poems from Dazai, Rampo, Kunikita, Akutagawa, Oda, Mori. I have quite a long TBR right now of other works that I want to get into, but some of the most recent works that I've been reading through the past 2 months have been Fukuzawa's essays regarding women's rights, and I just have so much respect for this man and really enjoyed his writing. I was a little nervous to get into his work because I thought that they were going to be a bit dry and boring, but I really like his character in the series, so I was like, I don't care if it's dry and boring. I'm just going to do my best to read through at least one of his works. But I ended up reading the entire collection of 11 essays that he wrote toward the end of the 1800s. Even though what he wrote was over 100 years ago, he was so progressive for his time and really passionate about his thoughts on the time and the injustice that he saw around him. So in addition to those essays, I am planning on reading some of his other works on education and civilization. But I knew the one book that I for sure wanted to have in my collection was his autobiography. I'm really looking forward to getting into it. It's translated by his grandson, which I think is really special. I was really disappointed when I got this copy in the mail, though. It arrived in really bad condition. The mailer it was sent in had no protective packaging. It was just a plastic sleeve around the book. And it was ripped open, and the book was filthy because it had been damaged, and it seemed like this whole side of the book was just pressed into some machinery or into the ground. And I was planning to return this, but they said I could just discard it once I sent photos of how it arrived. So I'm planning to keep it for now until I get a replacement copy. Then I might donate it to my library. But I went through with an eraser and just literally erased all the dirt from the affected pages so that I could maybe try to rescue this book. But we'll be planning to read this in 2025 and hopefully a bit more of his work if I can get my hands on them. My library doesn't have his other titles that I'm really wanting to get into, so hoping I might be able to get some of them at a good price secondhand. Some of them like literally are university textbooks, so They're quite pricey, so I'm hoping I can maybe find some used copies when I go to the city in the bookstore or maybe online. I'm just going to keep my eye out. But so far, I've only gotten a few Bungo Stray Dogs influenced classic lit purchases. I've only shared a few of them in my haul so far from Rampo, Oda, and now Fukuzawa. But I have a couple more on the way already from other characters because all of my favorite characters, I want to have at least one of the literary counterpart works, as well as other characters that in the anime and manga aren't like my favorite characters, but I've just been wowed by the writing of the author. So in future hauls, I will probably be sharing a little bit more from my classic lit journey that I'm on. But that's all for this haul today. So mostly BL manhwa and merch, and then some of these other items that came in the mail, pre-orders, and art books. So this is everything this time around. I think my next 2 videos are going to be my upcoming 2025 releases video that I am going to share my most anticipated releases for next year, and then my 2024 highlights video where I am going to share my top reads for every month of the year this past year. So hope you will look forward to those videos. I might do a haul video in between depending on what my mail looks like the next couple weeks. But until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon in another video.